How often have we heard it till we've gotten to the point where we believe it, that our words don't matter until somebody hears it? But your voice changes you first. It rewires the way that you see, know, and understand you long before it ever reaches the ears of anybody else. Let's talk more about that today. Hi, my name is Steve Kidd. I'm a third generation minister, international best-selling author of 39 books and counting. I've had the gloriously wonderful privilege of working with over 5,000 people, helping them write, publish, market their books to bestseller, and everything that goes beyond that. And what I'm here to do is help you find that powerful clarity that allows you to be able to say and do and be the person that you were created to be in this world. The world needs you. Somebody is waiting on you. And unfortunately, we get all caught up in who that someone is or in the masses of who that is versus understanding that long before your words have any impact on anybody else, they have an impact on you. They change who you are, how you see yourself, how you show up in the world. They make a difference in you and allow you to be able to show up even more powerfully in the world, to make the difference in the world that only you can make. And even if it's only just your two ears that are hearing the words you're saying, that's more than enough. And that is so uber, super, extra, massively powerful, and so needed. How are you doing today? Did you get a chance to catch my quick 1 minute video that we did yesterday? I told you, consistency. I've been telling you for the last couple of days prior to that, that I had some things, but that I wanted to because I love being in this space to be with you. And so I was going to find a way. And so even though I was in literally a waiting room, one of many that this particular hospital had, it was kind of shocking how many different, I think hospitals are starting to do that. They're starting to break up into a whole bunch of little tiny waiting rooms instead of the one great big giant one that they used to have. And here comes a train just on time to call to us. I'll be on a train here in just a few days, headed east. Exciting stuff going on in the world. And I want to, more than anything, be here to share all the excitement of it, all of the stuff with you, to make this difference for you because you need it. And so whether it's 1 minute, 30 seconds even, it could be 5 seconds, or it's 5 hours, I'm encouraging you to follow suit. Go live. Go live, first of all, for these 2 ears on the side of your head. Today, I really want to focus on that. I want us to dismiss ourselves from everything and everybody else. The 8 billion people-ish on the planet, even the one person that you're absolutely meant to serve. Want to dismiss ourselves completely from all of that for a minute, or, I'm going to go longer than a minute because I'm here back in my office now. So I get to ramble on at you again. But I want to really, truly move away from all of that, all the worries about anybody else, and focus on that most important person that we like to call you. That's right. You are worth it. Your ears hearing your words is more than enough, more than worth it for the people who need you. That people being you. You see, until we can really, truly just sit back like I just did on purpose. See, I'm some of these things we do as speakers, we do, and we do them purposefully. Some of them we do accidentally. Okay, so don't get everything, don't get it twisted that everything that a speaker does is intentional. Many of them aren't. Okay. But when I do it, and I know it, and I'm doing it intentionally, I want to broadcast it to you so you can see it, so you can learn the art of speaking, the art of, really, truly, genuinely, vulnerably, and valuably sharing you out into the world. And sometimes what we need to do is sit back and relax and rest in the space of, what is the space? The space is you just simply being comfortable being you. Let's move this phone away from being right there directly underneath the microphone. Until you learn to love you, nobody else ever really truly will. It's a hard, maybe even the hardest lesson for us to learn, because we've been programmed to believe that we're only as lovable as the person who loves us the very most is. And at some extent, and I'm in no way dissing our mothers. My mom is an amazing lady. She came through her surgery really well yesterday. Thank all of you, for those of you that were praying, for your prayers. But they also kind of tend to put that stamp on us. And I'm talking about good moms. I know some of you did not have good moms, and I apologize for that. But, they put that stamp on us of complete, total, unconditional, unreal love. Okay? Some of you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's not a matter of just being unconditional love, but it gets to that point where it's like, it's unreal. It's like, for example, and all of us as parents have probably said it at one point or another to our children, where we tell our child, you can be anything you want to be in this world. And technically, the opportunity to be able, well, and I should say, if you're living in the United States, the opportunity to be literally anything you want to be in this world is pretty much available to you, for the most part. Some exceptions in there, and we could get deep into the weeds of debating that, but just at a very high level, the potential for that is there for every man, woman, boy, and girl that's ever born. Now, as life goes on, those possibilities fall away. And unfortunately, a lot of times we buy into the I can be anything I want to for our whole entire lives, and not realizing that the choices that we make, the decisions that we make, the things that we do in life, they eliminate some options. Okay? So, like, for example, you have the opportunity to be a professional athlete. Okay, every little baby coming out of the womb has that same opportunity. Okay, not every single one of them is going to have the height, the musculature for the particular sport. Somebody that's got really long legs and is tall and thin. I'm massively stereotyping, okay? But typically that's what you think of when you think of a runner. Long, skinny legs that just scoot down the road. Okay. Not everybody has that. Okay. Conversely, you might have a shorter neck and wider shoulders, kind of like I do, and like my brother does. And that more suits you probably for something more like football or rugby or things like that. If you've ever noticed, and I'm talking at the professional level, and I'm talking about positional, okay? In other words, every generically speaking linebacker is built out of the same kind of a building block. You're not going to take the 5'2", 102-pound, ain't got no meat on his bones guy and stick him at linebacker or as the point, the nose tackle in front of the center. It just doesn't happen that way. Sorry about the phone ringing. That's just an element of the genetics. So, you know, some of those things, even from the minute of their birth, when we see that child, those are going to be eliminated. Okay. Now, in addition to that, there is the capability. Hey, Willie, glad to have you here with us. Um, there is the need to practice, drill, rehearse. Okay. You can have the absolute perfect, or you can have a off stereotypical form for a particular, again, we're talking about athletes, and without the physicality, this drill, 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 drill. Okay. Same thing's true when you talk about Willie and I, and you talk about musicians. Okay. Yes, there are some elements to natural tonality that some people have and other people have to learn. I can tell you from both music and sports, often it's not the person with the massive, absolute, total natural talent, because unfortunately they tend to not work quite as hard. The person with a little bit of talent that works really hard can go most of the time a lot further than the person with just bucket loads of natural talent, unless that person with the bucket loads of natural talent puts in the Michael Jordan level of day and night practice. That's where you get the Kobe's and the MJ's. And you could do Michael Jordan or Michael Jackson, practice, 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 practice. They say it takes 10,000 hours to become an expert at something. 10,000 hours. Now that's 10,000 hours of practicing doing it right. 10,000 hours of practicing doing it wrong will make you an expert at something, but it'll be basically being an expert at how to do it completely wrong. We all know of people that are our competitors that are absolute experts at doing it wrong, and we know they are. And sometimes it's even frustrating to see them make the money. Okay? So that mythology that our mothers pour into us that we can be everything really isn't really true. But we can reach the absolute peak top level of who we are genetically, physically, mentally, all of those kind of things. We totally can do that. But it starts from inside of you. The practice, drill, rehearse. The time, working on your talent. The belief in yourself. And yes, back to where we started in this little rant that I just went on, the loving you. Until you love yourself, you'll never recognize what love really feels like. And that's even true when it comes to that, like I said, kind of unreal version that our mothers give us of love. That's why so often you see people who have a very loving mother that they're not the greatest of people, because all that love their mom poured into them did not override how much they hate themselves, how much they're destroying their own self. You need to fall in love with you. And that starts from your words coming out of your mouth and your ears hearing them. Long, long before we ever get to the point where we're on a Facebook Live or we pick up our phone and we do, a tweet or a reel or a TikTok. Long before any of that, we need to be hearing our words say it. See, and it's really cool. I love, and if Patricia was on, she could totally tell us this mental, brain science that's probably happening right now about it. But what I do know of it is there is a difference between you thinking something and you speaking it. And there's power in the words that you say. If you think about the little engine that could, okay? The little engine that could, with the phrase, I think I can, I think I can, I think I can. The part that, and it's a children's book, so I'm not saying we should change the little engine that could, okay? But the part that kind of gets missed in there a little bit is the whole thing that the little engine that could is not just thinking, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it. Okay? It's that they're speaking out. Their ears are hearing them saying, I think I can do it. 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 Dr. Noah St. John, I love his books, all of them, but affirmation goes really deep into affirmations is the name of the book if you're looking for it. Affirmations. Okay. Um, and he goes really deep into the whole concept of your brain just wanting to process for answers. Okay. They just take input and they just start chugging away, trying to find out why that is. So if you say, why am I? And you end that with something that's derogatory about yourself, your brain's going to be like, I don't know, let's find out why I am. And it'll give you a reason why you're that thing. And that's why most of the time you'll notice I don't finish those sentences anymore because I don't want my ears to hear them. And I don't want my brain going to work on trying to figure that out. Even when I'm using it as an example for you, my brain, my ears, my heart, my soul, my purpose in the world can't afford my brain going off on a tangent of trying to prove those things that I don't want. And neither can yours. We absolutely positively need, that's right, I said need, to be speaking our words that are things that we say that allow our brains to begin to move in the direction that our minds think of doing. When we think it, we think it, we think it, okay? It doesn't activate it like it does. Affirmation builds the subconscious mind that produces 98% or more of the results in life. How's that for a statistic for you? Thank you, Willie. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. And yes, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. But out of the abundance of the heart, see how this ties together? Out of the abundance of the heart is what the mouth speaks. So the words that are coming flying out of your mouth, they're an overflow of the truth. And by heart, I'm not talking about, the thing that pumps the blood around. I'm talking about that core of who you are. You tell yourself enough times, I'm so blah, blah, blah. Your brain goes, okay. And I've seen people, brilliant people, who talk about themselves in negative point until when you meet them years later, you see them and they are that thing that they claimed over themselves. The same is true. I love it. I'm going to tell the story you told me, just a little piece of it, Willie, about a young man that Willie was talking to the other day that, the dude's like in his 20s. And he's got that powerhouse Tony Robbins, Golden, what's his first name? That kind of a level of positive faith-filled confessions, as we used to call it in church. He's like, no, I am abundant. Why is it that some little 20-year-old is running around saying, no matter what comes my way, I am abundant and I already have the solution for it and I'm going to succeed? Because that's what he's telling himself. That's what he told himself in high school. That's what he's telling himself still now at 20. What were you telling yourself when you were 16, 18, 22, 30, 35? You want me to keep going, to all the way up to 58, 60, 75? Your brain is not a purveyor of truth. Your brain doesn't go in and check it against a database of absolute pure truth and factual information. Your brain just processes whatever you feed it and assumes, well, this must be true. If you say you are, who am I to question it? I'm just a brain. I'm just a processing device. We always used to say with computers, garbage in, garbage out. Your brain is a processing device just like that. And when you put the trash in, and I don't care whether it's visual imagery, verbal languaging, stuff you're reading, music you're listening to. I mean, there are some songs that are out there that have no redeeming quality at all, that are great songs. Let's just be honest, okay? They're jams. They rock out, they're danceable, whatever it might be. Some of them even can take you from a kind of sad, depressed state to a very happy kind of state. But your brains are hearing all that information. They're taking it in. They're going, okay, I hear you. Think about that next time that you listen to that favorite song of yours, that you ought to be ashamed of yourself for liking that song, to quote Chris Rock without the curse word that he has in there. Yeah, your brain's unbiased. It believes whatever you tell it. If you're rolling down the street, whether you're walking or driving or in a bike or whatever, pumping your head full of how awful your life is and how horrible it is and how everybody's against you, your brain goes, okay. If you're pumping your head full of, and I'm not saying you need to walk around with iPods in or whatever other type of earphones in. Beats by Dr. Dre, absolutely. You need Willie to be, this is my completely unsolicited, though I'm soliciting you, commercial to Beats by Dr. Dre. You absolutely do want and need Willie to be your spokesperson. And as part of as a wonderful privilege of getting to be part of his team, I too will, on every single time I'm online, I will wear a pair of them either around my neck or on my ears and tell everybody they're the only headphones. But right now, I'm going to say a whole bunch of other kinds because you haven't stepped up to the plate yet. There's some space there for you. There's a few others of those companies that I'm looking at you too. One of you is going to be the presenting sponsor for the Never Stop Winning International Celebration coming to a city near you. That's right, Marriott Bonvoy. I'm calling you out. We want to partner with you because we want it to be the, whatever presents the Never Stop Winning International Celebration coming to the Marriott Bonvoy Hotel near you soon. I'm putting it out there in the world. I'm speaking it out there. Y'all can contact me. Feel free to DM me. If you look not very hard at all, you can find my phone number. Call me on phone. If I don't answer because I'm on a live right now, I will absolutely call you back. We have got some opportunities for you. I'm putting it out there in the world. I spoke it out into existence yesterday when my uncle was talking about, what are the things that you want to do? There's an entire, what used to be elementary school, high school, et cetera, campus here in Miltonville, Kansas. I'm claiming it. Yeah. I don't know how it's going to come together, but it's going to come together. And there's going to be some really amazing stuff that Mr. Willie J and I and the others that work with us are going to bring into central Kansas in a little town that you're not allowed to come and scarf that up underneath of me as I speak it out. See, did it take any more or less out of me to claim those? You can look at me and go, hey, he's foolish. It's been worst year in business that he's probably ever had. He should be thinking about, making a total pivot or changing jobs or things like that. Absolutely no way. I went through some cool stuff this last year. Things that are priceless beyond measure. And we are coming up on a level that is beyond anything I've ever done. And we absolutely will be at a city near you worldwide. Doesn't matter where in the world you live. We're coming to a city near you very, very soon with something that's going to teach you how to really, truly win every single day. It's coming. And we're going to have a campus for whatever that might end up being. I've got 4 or 5 different ideas that are juggling. And ultimately, God will say what he wants to do with that. But I'm claiming those right now. I don't know whether the gymnasium needs to stay a gym or it needs to turn into a really great private theater, movie releases, practice place for stage practice for bands, small genre stage presences. That's right. Never stop winning. I see it all. I see the studio. I've done everything short of actually contact my friend John Ferguson and have him come to look at the building and tell me exactly how we need to fit out a multiple room studio in one of those buildings. I see it. You see, I've thought all of these things over the course of the last 3 or 4 days since I saw that was available. But I'm speaking them. The little engine that could made it over the mountain because the little engine that could kept saying, I think I can, I think I can, I think I can, I think I can. Until it got far enough up the mountain that it was like, and once it went over to the top of the mountain, it was like, I knew I could, I knew I could, I knew I could, I knew I could. See, you keep encouraging yourself. You do that little thing. You come on live. Not because, 10, 100 million, 1,000 people. You've never gone live ever before in your life. You have 5 followers on Facebook. You're probably not going to have 10 million people watch your first time going live. Even if you get completely naked and you are just hot as insert whatever person is the hottest for you, guy or girl, okay? It might eventually go that way if you're willing to expose yourself at that level. Just don't ever gain 1 ounce of body fat and don't get a day older than you are right now. Or all of that traffic will wane. But if you go out and you just begin to say that thing that you're just passionate about, you go off about it all the time. Every time the subject comes up anyway, why not just turn on or pick up your phone, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, YouTube, and just talk about the thing in a positive, powerful, transformational way. For guess who? You. That's right. Right now, I'm encouraging you. And I know I've said a lot of things, and I'm watching the views grow as I follow this format, and it absolutely does work. But right now, what you need to put in is about 10,000 hours. We went back to 10,000 hours allows you to be an expert. About 10,000 hours of you talking nothing but positivity out loud, on camera, recorded, preferably live out so the whole world is holding you accountable. Take that 10,000 hour challenge on. Then you might be thinking about going, I always tease about 5 seconds or 5 hours. You might be thinking about going 5 hours a day. When you start breaking up, 10,000 hours into how many hours are there in a month, in a year? I don't know. Somebody can do the math on, 24 hours in a day, blah, 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 whatever 24 times 365 is. That's how many hours there are in a year. Okay. What if you spent the next 10,000, which is multiple years, and that was if you said it constantly, and you should. Yeah, Do 5 minutes to 5 hours of it live, but keep going on. Okay, if you go live for a minute and you're all pumped and positive, I'm going to do this, I'm going to change the world, and I'm going to build this an incredible complex here in Miltonville, Kansas, and we're coming to a city near you with the Never Stop Winning International Celebration. And then the rest of the day, I'm walking around going, you know, looking like I've been sucking on melons all day, bumping into people and having them say, all I know is that whatever that guy's going through, I hope I never go through it. I need to be up and happy and positive and putting it out there all 24 hours of the day. I should be having positive dreams at night. I should be speaking in my sleep so my ears are hearing me say positive, empowering, powerful things, even while I'm sound asleep and don't even know I'm doing it. It's no harder to begin to confess with your mouth that things are going to be good as it is to confess with your mouth that things are rotten. It takes no more energy. Wonderful, rotten, okay? Good, bad. Exactly the same amount of energy to just say those words. But I promise you, the more you say, things are getting better. Things are better than they've ever been. Things are extraordinary. I'm abundantly powerful. The more you say them over and over and over again, and you may be saying them totally, and I hate the phrase fake it till you make it, but you may be in that place right now. And your brain may very much need, it may be the best detox that your entire being has ever been on, for your brain to not have to anymore process that your ears are hearing you talk trash about you. Long before you learn to love yourself, you got to start confessing it right now. Yeah, somebody needs you. But right now, the somebody that needs you is you. You. So let's start our 10,000 hours today. And don't just pigeonhole them into, I'm going to do my live because Steve encouraged me to do my live. And then spend the other 23 hours or 23 hours and 59 minutes and 30 seconds confessing all the other things. That 1 minute of positivity, or 30 seconds in that last example, isn't going to change your world. But when you begin to capture those thoughts, I'm not saying that you're going to get perfect the immediate minute that you decide to make this. You're going to be like, oh, well, yeah. And then you're going to be, whoa, stop, wait a minute. No, I'm not going that direction. You're going to be continuing to say the why am I so? But now that you've heard me say this, the next time you finish that so off with something that isn't so amazing, so incredible, so powerful, so abundant, so transition, I'm such a winner. You're going to start catching those. And you might even start putting in different words. And yes, consistency is key. What are our 3 C's? Clarity, consistency, connection. Connection is a heart condition, and the person I want you to learn to start loving is you, connecting with you. Abundance is a mindset. It's a heart condition too. You don't. Okay, like right now, if you're listening live, if you run out to your local store, there is still time today to buy a Powerball ticket. The Powerball, if you win it, and you're the only one who has the one winning ticket, is $1.3 billion. That's, of course, stretched out over 33 years. If you take a pay in full, it's going to be $600 million. One lump sum, boom. Okay. Depending on what state you live in, they're probably going to take half of it. So that's $300 million. This time tomorrow, you could have $300 million. Okay, the odds of winning that are 1 in 1.3 billion. It could happen, but I promise you, if you don't have, if you aren't spending the time knowing you're abundant and that you have the capability to draw money to you, to live powerfully and abundantly, if you haven't created that radical generosity in your life that allows you to be a big giver, to give more than you can possibly ever receive, you'll be like just about every other lottery winner. And next week, next month, next year, you'll be broke again. In fact, most of the lottery winners end up getting caught in things and they end up having to have to go bankrupt because they not only spent all of their earnings, but they spent more than that. They just became spendaholics rather than being abundant givers. Abundant, radically generous. That's what you want to be. And it starts by confessing it. Whatever a man thinks in his heart, so is he. And out of the abundance of that heart, the mouth speaks. Whatever your belief, whatever, okay, I'll use a non-Bible verse. Whatever you can conceive and believe, you will achieve. You have to be able to conceive it. You have to believe it. I'm going to throw one in there that isn't part of that sales trainer quote because it's also confess. Whatever your ears hear your mouth saying, it's going to just do the math, compute it, and come up with that answer. It's just the way it works. So what are we going to consistently confess today? Yeah, I want you clear. The other of our three C's, clarity. I want you to be clear that you want to never stop winning, that you want to live radically abundant. Radical abundance comes from radical generosity. I want you to fall madly in love with yourself. Because I do want you to be madly loved. But until you love you at that level, you won't even recognize it if somebody else tried to love you that way, and you won't be able to accept it. Because you'll never be able to allow somebody to love you any more than you love you. It's a harsh reality that actually is very true. So what are we going to do today? We're going to begin to shape the world by shaping our world. We're going to be clear on how powerfully cool you are and begin to clearly, consistently saying that thing to connect to the one heart that is yours. Right now, if the only person in the world that you save, you know, the old story that I've told many times about the throwing the starfish into the ocean, to that one, that means everything. That one that you're saving right now is you. And watch the radical abundance that comes from radical generosity. Watch the positive, faith-filled attitude that grows out of positively confessing things are good. Because whatever you look at in the world, you can see there's always bad things. You can turn on the news right now, and I promise you there's 100 bad things. You can flip through all the stations so you can get everybody's arguing opinion back and forth about how this side of the fence says this thing's awful and this thing's good, and this side of the fence says the opposite, that, you know, the thing that this side said was good is awful and that they said was awful is good. And you can just find plethoras of those kind of things, or you can just tune those off and you can just tune into radical abundance. Never stop winning. And if you think this was powerful, if you think this is something that you'd like to tie into, then you need to reach out to myself or Willie J. And you need to be like, I don't know when you're coming to my city, but here's where I am. And I want to learn powerfully how to never stop winning. We got something for you, life altering something for you. And it's going to start from a whole lot of positive, faith filled confessions of you right now, today, letting your ears hear your mouth say how abundant and how cool and how massively powerful you are. You got it? You going to do it? 10,000 hour commitment starts right now. Your voice changes you before it changes anything or anybody else. And when you come back tomorrow, and I appreciate that you will, we're going to talk about this is then where your words become your message, where it resonates with your soul and it changes the very fiber of who you are and makes the difference in you that only you can make. And until tomorrow, next time, which is tomorrow, I hope that you're just thriving beyond everything I can even conceive, and it's huge. And that you have an amazingly wonderful and great week.